Mick Solomons, the developer of the Starting Strength app, and with me from Houston, Texas, Chase Lindley.
What's happening, guys?
G'day, Chase. And from Georgia, Alex Mitchell, Starting Strength coach. G'day, Alex.
Just Georgia.
Just Georgia. I was trying to think, what's the name of the town? I couldn't remember it.
Atlanta. It's just a
Are you in
small,
Atlanta?
very small crossroads.
I thought you were in some kind of smallish
It's called
city.
Sandy Springs. Atlanta's weird. You trust me, it's not worth describing.
Okay. It's the nice part of Atlanta, though.
It is a nice part of Atlanta.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, anyway, we'll kick off today with a question from a lady by the name of Andrea, who's been emailing me during the week. She's 58, 5'7". Her starting weight was 130 pounds, and her current weight's 137, but she's saying that all her clothes are loose, with a little smiley face emoji.
Oh, body weight.
Body
Okay,
weight,
gotcha.
yes, sorry, yeah. Her starting body weight. She's eating 1,800 calories a day, 150 grams protein. She sleeps 8 hours a night. On her non-lifting days, she walks about 5 to 10 kilometers, which is 3 to 7 miles.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep. It's her first time doing a strength program, and her background before that was more endurance cardio, such as running, cycling, boxing. And she decided to do pure strength training after a rotator cuff surgery left her weak. She's got all the stuff at home. She's got a squat rack, safeties, barbells, bumper plates. And she's been running the novice female program for about 8 months. And before that, she started with strong lifts, 5x5, and switched to starting strength in December. Her lifts are squat 35 pounds to 115, deadlifts 55 to 185, bench 35 to 92, overhead press 35 to 60. And she can do 6 to 8 unweighted chin-ups. And she's at the point where her lifts are increasing every fourth workout, and overhead press is being deloaded frequently. So she wants to know if she should move to a more advanced novice program, or should she keep progressing slowly like this? That's a lot of information, but anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it
want to
is.
take a chase, or you want?
So it sounds like your recovery and all that stuff is good. If you're consistently hitting that caloric intake that you're doing, and you're sleeping the same number of hours each night, that's fine. And then on the recovery day, I don't really see a problem with a 3 to, whatever kilometers it is, but I'm gonna say it's miles. 3 to 7 miles it is. That's fine. You may need to stop that pretty soon and just kind of solely focus on your strength training, but it's not gonna have that big of an impact. The main thing is, though, you have to see if you're taking small enough jumps and you're not taking big jumps on your press and your upper body stuff. If that's the case and you are taking small jumps, you just need to remember that the upper body stuff responds positively to more stress, not lessening it, right? So you're going to have to up the frequency, or even maybe substitute some more press days or more bench days, whichever one you prefer, and to drive that. Now, in your bench or your deadlift and your squat, for example, they require less strength to help drive them up. So eventually you're going to have to lower the frequency, so where you're squatting maybe twice a week, and then maybe pulling heavy once. And then playing with the other days that you're not pulling with lighter variations, doing chin-ups, which you are, then maybe try to do lighter deadlift, something of the sort.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I would say too. And just remember that it's not like you don't just like flip a switch and all of a sudden, oh look, now I'm on program X instead of program Y. Like you're, as Chase is saying, okay, my press isn't going up anymore, but my bench press is still progressing every fourth workout. That's rad. So what you do is you just add a slot. It's actually okay. I'm sure I'm going to speak for Kay here and say you should totally be benching and pressing in the same workout at least one of those days per week. Like, it is okay to do it. It's recommended. It's a cool thing. You're one of the cool kids when you do it. So, like, you add a press, as Chase said, you add some frequency to the press. Usually 9 times out of 10, press go up. And then you're gravy boat again, right? But you're going to respond based on as your best interpretation of what the body is telling you. And, that's going to be your best guide as to what change, because otherwise you're just making arbitrary changes for no reason. And that's not really as helpful.
I mean, the fact that she's 58, would that change anything in terms of programming?
I mean, it sounds like she's doing great. Like
Yeah.
again, I think that harkens back to like what we talked about previously, which is that 58 means she might not be as good as she was at 21, but it means nothing about how she performs compared to some other 20-year-old or some other 58-year-old.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
So, and she seems to be doing pretty well. I mean, those are solid numbers.
Yeah, they're great numbers.
Yes.
She did go on to say that she feels like she needs to take a week off from exhaustion, which is not due to the strength training, but she's got a few other things going on in her life. But she's eating and sleeping pretty well, and
So
Did
like
she
that,
mention if she's? Did she mention if she switched the 3x5s to 5x3s, if she's doing triples at all or anything like that?
no, she didn't. But maybe that's something.
Well,
she
if you're not and you're still trying to progress with fives, that's
Try
gonna wear
it.
you out.
Oh no, she
Or
did.
I would switch to
Yeah,
threes.
she did say she's been doing the novice.
female novice linear progression. So we can
yep.
assume that's probably threes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I mean, it can, if sometimes I'll take that as a heads up. If there's real life stuff going on, I'll take that as a heads up that we need to sort of spread out the stress maybe. So like instead of going up on every exercise, every fourth workout, we add in an extra workout per exercise that like you can, or I'll take it on like a bi-weekly basis where like I break it up into every 2 weeks. So you progress your squat and your press one week, and you progress your deadlift and your bench 1 week. And that way you can kind of add in some lighter days, and I'll use that as like okay, we're not going to take a deload, right? We're not just going to stop doing anything because that's kind of silly. That's a lot. But we can lighten up the stress, smooth it out a little bit, let the real life stuff go away and pass, and then, maybe after your recovery gets back to where it needs to be, then you can amp it up again, right?
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully that helps you out, Andrea. If you've got any more questions, just hit us up. We'll see if we can get them answered. Let's rip into some videos. We have Anthony Short. Where's this land of freedom that doesn't require masks at the gym?
That's a good gym, man.
It's a great gym.
So Anthony, I would like to see you get a better squat grip here. You're just basically holding it back into your fingers, and you are kind of high barring it. If it's your shoulder mobility that's prohibiting you to get into a lower position, go a little bit wider, or if you can't, just try to keep kind of the heel of your hand on top of the bar. Actually grip it with your thumb if you're in a high bar, instead of letting the wrist get pinned back into so much extension. And then I would like to see your heels in just a little bit. It seems a little bit wide with your stance. But for the most part, this looks pretty good.
Do you think he's got shoulder mobility problems? Because I mean, that's a really narrow grip he's got there.
Oh, I would guess there's probably a little mobility stuff going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you're gonna commit to high bar, like as Chase said, you just wrap the thumb around. The thumb over grip isn't some guiding virtue that's perfect for everything. It's just like for the low bar, that's a much better position because it really, really takes a lot of stress off the wrist. But on a high bar position, it's not actually better, I don't think so. Wrap that thumb around, or even better, do some hangs, get your shoulders mobile, and try and maybe widen your grip a little bit. As Chase said, neutralize that wrist and see if you can't get it a little lower. That'd be cool.
All right, Anthony, good stuff. B Case. I've got a couple of videos for BK. Oh, this is this guy. This is Calves guy.
Calves
Calves
guy.
guy.
And his triceps aren't slacking either.
That's true. Yeah. I think he's had a haircut and a shave since the last time we saw him.
He did.
Oh, no,
This is. I don't understand what's going on with this gym. It's so
looks
weird,
like it should be an
dude.
office, but
Yeah,
it's
It's like an office gym, and he just said, "Hey, can I bring my Rogue Rack in here?"
I wonder if it's like like a big, like it's an actual business that has a gym. You know what I mean? Like it's not
It
actually a
looks
gym
like
business.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like an ancillary.
Like some Silicon Valley, tech company.
Yeah. Oh, like Google or something. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's probably not Google. You expect
Oh, no,
Google to have a
Google
better
has-
gym than this.
Yeah.
I would sure hope so.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Chase? These look pretty good to me. Not too
I
bad.
do.
The shoes
I think
could
he's
need help.
dropping his he's dropping his ass just a little bit, and he's still kind of squatting it up. So the start position for the deadlift should feel somewhat uncomfortable, right? So that means like your hamstrings are really tight because your ass is higher than it needs to be, and you're squeezing your back into extension and holding it. As you can see, you're kind of squatting it down, and then you're going from about your toes to the heels, and that's due to the shoes of what Alex kind of pointed out. With your hips up higher, it's going to kind of get you into a better position with the midfoot, and you just have to push your feet from there.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly right. That's exactly what I would say. And I mean, you got a lot of room to grow here, dude. You got a lot of
Yeah.
room to grow.
These look
Tidy
easy.
those things up, and
Yeah, man, he's doing
It's
those
gonna go
easy. Yep. Is there any benefit in the deadlift to having like jacked calves?
yeah, I mean it stabilizes the knee.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize how important calves were until I saw Ripito squat. He basically has no calf, I think, on his right
Yeah,
leg.
dude.
And him walking out is like the fucking most dangerous thing with a squat on his back. It's just like he has no concept of balance at all. So he's just like, am
Yep.
I stable? I'm like, yeah, you look fine. But as soon as he goes down like the first 2 inches, it's like, oh, fuck, man.
Oh, because
Yeah,
he
dude.
has does he have no ACL on one knee or something, or was there something?
Yeah.
Like
Something and then, like-
repaired. Right. Go ahead.
No, he doesn't have a repaired knee, but it's like his gastrocs are fucked up. I think.
I was
where
about to
they,
say his Achilles
insert
tendon
that.
got ruptured, right?
Something like that.
Yep.
Crazy shit.
Got a question. Pavestone Wasp. Kind of curious about this person, but thoughts on RDL as a substitute for power cleans if the trainee is still learning to maintain the lower back tightness.
I mean, I don't know if it's a substitute for power cleans, but I mean, like, if you, yeah, it's not a substitute for power cleans, but like, you can use it if you're running that, like Chase mentioned earlier, like sometimes eventually the deadlift goes to like you're only deadlifting once a week heavy. So if you're doing like a volume deadlift or a 2x5 or whatever, you can plug the RDL in for that slot, get some hypertrophy, which is all you're looking for anyway, and get, train that. But, like before that, we need to be getting the low back into extension. Like by any means necessary, maybe do some warm-ups, do some Supermans as warm-ups for your deadlift, but we need to be getting that thing into extension like ASAP.
Yeah, and I wouldn't substitute an exercise to help with a correctional issue with that unless, let's say, this person has never done training before and it's a kid or a really elderly person. Then
Yeah.
I'll probably use like a rack pull instead of a deadlift. But if you are able to get into position and you just suck at holding your back into extension, just like Alex said, you got to practice Superman holds or some kind of stretch to help facilitate, oh, this is my low back end extension.
Yeah, and probably what's happening is you're not getting enough weight in your hands before you actually pick the bar up. Like 9 times out of 10, someone fresh out who just they've got all the fixings of it and it's not happening. It's because they just like set up around the bar and then at the very end they grab onto the bar and try to pull it and their back is like this and then it goes like this.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the question, Pavestone. We have another B. That's another more calves guy. Just can't get
More
enough of the.
Rogue, dude.
Can't
Oh
get enough
my
of this
God.
He's
guy.
just cranking these videos out.
He is, man.
Is that a Monster Light? Right?
I think it might be.
It's a nice rack.
That is a great rack.
Stance is way wide, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Did we tell him to widen his stance before? Is that an overcorrection?
I
can't
think this is
remember.
like his first squat video, I thought.
Oh, maybe.
No, I think.
No, it's not.
I think his other squat
No.
videos were taken from directly side on, so I don't think we could actually really see the.
That could be it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your stance is super wide, dude. So I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on, but I would want to fix that and see how much it fixes before trying to nitpick all the other stuff personally. Anyway.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. I like the fact he actually did like a calf raise to get the bar back into the rack at the end.
If that's
Just
the
in
case
case.
too, he has to lower the J hooks there. Lower
Give
it
it, look
down
at this.
one
Yeah,
more.
look at that.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
giving us a flex
I
at the
didn't
end
even
there.
See that. Good catch. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why his calves are so developed.
Yeah, he's,
Yeah, no
he's
shit.
doing 315-pound calf raises
Yeah.
every time he scores.
Yeah.
All right, got another question from El Noir, friend of the show, El. Is there any benefit to adding horizontal pulling, for example, rows? Does it change the muscles worked in a practical sense?
Adding to what? Like
She just said adding rows.
other than like, what are you taking something away, or are you just throwing it on at the end? Because I mean, you can always just do some hype. If you're intermediate, right, and you're kind of out of the whole novice stuff, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I don't know that you have to, but you can.
Go for it, El. Have a shot.
Yeah, I'm still kind of weird. What does she mean by?
It's a
horizontal?
weird question, right?
I think she's asking if there's any, if it's using any different sort of musculature than, say,
Like
for
if she's
example,
like if she has a barbell in a rack and she's actually doing like a row there, not really. You're just kind of working your more so like the eccentric portion than like what a deadlift would, or like an RD or like a stiff, like any variation of the deadlift. But like you get the same thing kind of like with an RDL, is that you work a different portion of the lift. You work the eccentric more so than the concentric. With the barbell
Chase,
row, you're doing kind of the same thing.
what do you use barbell rows for specifically? Like if you're going to program a barbell row, what are you seeing in that client that makes you do that?
One, if they are terrible at doing the Olympic lifts, I'm not going to mess with that, and they're old enough to where I probably wouldn't even consider that. And making sure that they're at the point in their program where they need a light pull variation during the week, and I'll go ahead and substitute in for barbell rows.
Okay, so Elle has actually answered the question. She said a bent over row instead of a clean chin or a deadlift as a light day option.
Yeah, exactly what Chase said. Yep. If you're not really, if there's a reason that contraindicates power cleans, the barbell row, it's not actually explosive per se, because it's not like, you can still do it even if it's not a fast movement, but like it can be done explosively, and it can move really fast, and so it kind of fills that criteria if you can't fill it otherwise with a power clean. And it works the upper back, and it's a really lighter lift than like a deadlift or a rack pull or something like that. So
Yeah, and it can also be trained in a different way too, in the sense that it's more loadable. You have a variety more way of programming it versus like a chin, where it's like you either do more reps or sets or add weight to it.
Yep.
yeah,
Which
that's a real problem with chins. Otherwise, I feel like if you could progressively load chins, they would be like right up there with the other four. Like they would be, or the other five, I guess. They would be such a good exercise.
Can you not just use one of those belts and throw plates on it? Is that not progressively
Well, you
loading?
can if you can do a body weight chin up.
Right.
But like, and then also there's like, well, how much do you weigh today versus how much you weighed yesterday? The problem is like there's so much variance in the body weight, and there's also like, you're 1 or 0. It's very binary at a very heavy weight to start out. It's like if we could only start the squat out at like 120 pounds, or if we could only start the squat out at body weight, for instance, it would be really, really hard to program for some populations.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago, me and a buddy would be at the gym, and like we got really serious about chin-ups to the point where we knew like exactly how many reps we could do, and we just wanted to get one more than last week. And before we'd do that set, we'd go to the toilet, take a piss, take our shoes off, and like try and take a dump, just to get another 50 grams off it.
That's actually a really good illustration that like, with a squat, you can just take a couple pounds off and all that kind of stuff. But with a chin up, if you're doing like 5 to 6 reps, it has to be 5 to 6 at that body weight, right? Yep. Which is why it's so hard to actually work with them long term if you're like not super strong already.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks for the question, Elle. We've got her press video coming up a bit later on. Up next, we have Bergvermet.
Is this the first time this guy's been on?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think I would have remembered this color
Exact
coordinated.
same,
Yeah, it's kind of like
literally the same rack.
Yeah, it is.
That the
yeah.
other guy had.
Yep.
This is why we can't buy any.
This is the new currency, is rogue racks.
Well, then I'm rich.
Hey.
Berg, I like to see you speed these things up and then drive your hips right out of the bottom. You're kind of limiting yourself with you're not really getting a bounce, and it's making the upward portion really damn hard on you. And then I would want your toes a little bit more in. It seems like as you come up, due to your chest, you're lifting your chest, that your knees are also caving in. With your toes in just a little bit, it's going to help keep everything in line and give you a little bit more push and drive with the hips.
Yep.
You reckon
Couldn't
these are a
agree
bit
more.
high
And
as well? Oh, that
Go
one's,
ahead.
that one's
Yeah.
good. A couple of the reps looked a bit high, but that one looked okay.
He's kind of, he's slowing down. He's probably, if you're thinking, Berg, about where depth is, you're going to miss it every single time. Just keep going down, and you're going to get that bounce out of the bottom, and that bounce is your indicator, right? So do not
your
feel
body's
for it,
going to
just-
tell you when to go up. Right.
Yep.
Okay, Berg Vermet, thanks for the video. Nice gym, by the way. It's very color coordinated. I like it.
His door is like the same color as his wall, though. It's kind of tripping me out.
It is a
was
little.
drunk.
I was
He's-
just
yeah, he's like-
noticing that.
He's like trapped if he turned off all the lights.
True. Okay, Chris Clayton. I reckon I've had this guy on before.
Oh, was this the guy where we saw the shoes and we were like, "Oh, this is not going to be good," and then he stepped out and like did a perfect squat?
I think it might be.
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Not
I
bad.
still can't.
The first one
Yeah, it's
wasn't
not bad.
You think he's going a bit
He
deep?
just needs squat shoes, dude. He just needs squat shoes. Like, I think that might fix everything. Yeah, that one was a little too like high bar-y, but
I reckon that flooring looks a bit soft as well. I think it's also probably not
Yeah, he's
helping.
kind of dancing around in his feet a little bit extra than what those shoes are giving him.
Yeah.
yep.
He's coming
I
off
want-
his
yeah.
heels as well.
Yeah, I
Again,
wanna
that's
see
just
more
like,
of-
We need a 3/4 inch heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, get shoes for one, and then two, shove out your knees and just keep your stomach right in between your legs. You got to get
Yep.
deeper and then drive your ass.
Yeah, some of these you're kind of trying to high bar it still. Just really commit to the bow, and you'll be good.
Yep.
And get some squat shoes.
Yeah. All right, Chris Clayton, thanks for the video. Couple of questions. So Elle had a follow-up question about the rows. She said, would you pick lat pull down or barbell row?
Ooh, fun. Personally, if you've got a lat pull down, I might do both, but I'd rather the lat pull down because it's a really, really cool breakthrough to be able to work your way up to a chin up.
I reckon Elle can do bodyweight chin-ups.
Well, if you can
Yeah.
do body weight chin ups, then yeah.
And usually,
Yeah.
if you can do like a row at around 95 or 125, you're pretty close to doing a chin up, anyways.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's almost like at that point, I don't know if I could find any criteria that would be real that would help me say like, okay, you need this. Unless you're like having trouble with the lats on the deadlift or something like that, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of personal preference.
Elle said she can't do a bodyweight chin-up. Okay. Well, there you go.
So yeah. I mean, maybe just lat pull downs to try to increase the volume so that you can get more body weight chin ups. Sure. That might be the only criteria that I could think
I'm pretty sure I don't think Elle could fit a lat pull-down machine in her apartment from the videos I've seen. If she can,
mean-
go for it.
And yeah, I mean that's the space economy, right? Like, so if you do barbell rows are fine. Don't go buy a lat pull down just because of that.
Yeah. And Ben Lacasse sort of had the same question in the chat. He said, would an assisted chin-up machine or a lat pull-down be useful
No.
for alpine chins for those that can't
Do
get
not
one?
use one of those assisted chin up machines. They are hot, utter, unadulterated garbage.
Yep.
They're really, really bad. Do not do that.
I never messed with them, so I don't know.
No, yeah. Oh, dude, I got to send you a picture. It's hilarious. It looks like someone is standing up and doing like a.
Is that the
Just
thing that has
this.
like the pad underneath your knees? That
Yeah.
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
it does.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
They're
Now,
they're
I would
really,
just stick
really
to a
bad.
regular lat pull down machine, not
Yeah.
the assisted thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Teodor Mrenovic, I heard oysters are an aphrodisiac. Anyone here notice a difference when working out?
I don't.
What?
I hope you wouldn't
Right,
notice
so.
that. I'm sort of wondering if maybe he's like
Do you
actually.
know? Maybe he doesn't know what an aphrodisiac is.
I think he knows what. I mean, he's used oyster and aphrodisiac in the same sentence. I think he knows exactly what
Yeah,
it
but
is.
that's like
Yeah.
a common thing. I bet he has I bet he has some shit in his head about like, oh, aphrodisiac something.
I wonder if he's like sort of doing, you know, how Rocky has like, you know, raw eggs in a protein shaker. I wonder if
Just slamming
Theodore's like
oysters.
slamming
Just
oysters.
slamming, yeah,
Dude,
a rack
that'll
of
be. I
oysters.
hope he's on a coastal city. Otherwise, he's gonna get food.
I
poisoning.
think he's in. I think he's in London. I think the last time, and he's in
Y'all-
lockdown. So
Do y'all make oysters? Or do y'all harvest oysters in London? I don't know.
Fuck
guess-
no, I don't
guess
think
so.
they grow out there.
Yeah, they do. It's like a cold climate. I'm sure they have.
Yeah, I was about to
pretty
say,
Oh,
it's
in
kinda like-
London?
Well, I mean, they're
mean,
probably
it's
not,
oysters
They grow in
They're
grow
probably
in
not-
New England. They grow in Connecticut, right?
they're probably not
So,
harvesting
like,
them out
same-
of the Thames or anything. But I mean, I'm sure somewhere in the UK, their oysters are. a
I'm
thing.
sure there are oysters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That got me curious. I need to look this up.
Answering the
I'm
important.
sure they're horrible, just like all other food in London.
Ooh, it's going to get us into some trouble. All right, let's
Really?
get rolling
That's
along.
controversial?
Nah, it's not. It's pretty true. Stephen Hoffman said from Scotland, most likely, the oysters. So there you go.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Etienne Chaudron, Power Clean.
Whoa, that was a lot.
I think there is he did leave a few notes on this one. So he said he's an intermediate lifter and he recently started incorporating power cleans into his routine. He said he's having a hard time fixing his arm pull.
Yep,
Etienne.
that's like the biggest thing with everyone. A few of these actually look good, but think of the bend happening in your arms, right? Because one, we want you to jump in the jump position with straight arms, but at some point the elbows do have to bend to rack. But think of the bend happening up higher, meaning you're gonna shrug to make your arms rack the bar. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
and
in
then
this
getting
video, it
under
looks like
it.
you're, yep, you're kind of half-assing the jump. One, I would bring in your grip just a little bit. I think the wider grip is throwing you off just a little bit. You're going to be probably the person who almost cleans with his deadlift grip or just outside of it like a finger width. And make sure that if you have trouble, bending your arms, I would stop pulling from the floor and just do a few from the jump position and then at the hang and then slowly work my way back down. And just make sure that you're shrugging, getting tall with the jump.
Yeah, I think there's a good in the setup videos. There's a good step where you just have the bar in the hang position, and all you're really doing is just jumping with straight arms.
Yep.
Is that how you guys sort of normally teach it?
Yeah, so
Or to
the
fix that
teaching
problem.
progression is, you go through like the hang position, the rack position, and then the jump position. Once you've kind of gone over the jump position, you jump with straight arms, 3 or 4 times, however many times you need to. And you slowly add in the rack over those positions.
Yeah, so it's just jumping with straight arms, but it's not actually getting to the rack position.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Nick Delgadillo kind of spotted this perfectly, where you want to be almost late on the rack and get through the jump with straight arms, because a lot of people are worried about, fuck, I have to get it to my shoulders instead of executing the jump position. Need to
Yeah.
be.
I want that fucking bar to hit the ceiling, dude. I don't care if it overshoots your shoulders. I don't care if I don't care if you throw it all the way up into the ceiling. I really don't care. I want the bar to leave your hips without your elbows bending. No matter what, that's the first priority. And then we'll clean up the rack. That we can do that later. I think that one of the hardest things about teaching the power clean is like people have an idea in their head of what it looks like that other people are doing, and that idea is not actually what it is, and so they try to feel through what it looks like other people are doing, and it just really, really screws with them. Easiest power clean, or easiest people to teach the power clean are people who have never seen it done, I feel like.
Yep. All right. Etienne from France, thanks for the video. El Noir, she's been incorporating the press 2 into her routine.
Those leggings are fucking legendary. Holy shit. Those are awesome.
Those skulls and roses.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. It's a tight bar path, bro. Oh, not
Yeah,
that.
This isn't bad. What I would like to see is a little bit more hips, and you kind of have to time it a little bit better than this, right? So you're kind of worried about getting the press done with. Just focused on throwing your hips, and the bar is going to go where it needs to go. You're going to get a lot more of an oomph from your shoulders that way.
Yeah, and I would say throw a little lower. Like if you're thinking about throwing at like the hip pointer, think about throwing even low thigh. Like throw all of that forward, and you're gonna actually move the hip forward rather than there's a little bit of like lumbar extension here.
Yep. I'm loving this weightlifting analysis thing. The lines.
Yeah, the bar path is pretty tight on a couple of these.
That one got a bit funky, but yeah. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Elle. Good work. Who we got next? Hardy. Had Hardy on.
Yeah, this
Hardy?
guy didn't change the camera angle at all. It's good.
This guy's got about.
Actually, I think we are a little further back, in fairness to him.
I think he's squatting in his dorm room at college. I think that's what's happening.
It looks
be.
like it.
Yeah.
Man.
Could be, dude. Well, good for you for getting it in.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see exactly what he's doing. It looks like you're kind of getting pulled out of your extension as you start the lift. Pause a second, make sure that you're still set, and push as hard as you can with your feet. But it's kind of hard to see the rest of this in this angle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's exactly right. And I think like take 2 seconds longer at the bottom after the second to last step, right before you pull the bar. Take 2 seconds and literally just flatten every single ounce of slack out of your vertebrae. Just like, and squeeze it as tight as it possibly gets, and then squeeze it harder because you can get it tighter while the weight's in your hands. And if you're just patient there and you squeeze up, getting to the point where you're like your blood pressure is 400 over 370 or whatever, like you that'll do it.
Yeah. And also, like, that flooring that he's working on. I mean, is that problematic?
It's not helping him. Yeah, it looks like a
Yeah.
foam mattress, isn't it? Or a foam mat or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's in an apartment or something and he has to. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
not good.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But anyway, thanks, Hardy. Hardy's got a bunch of videos in the queue at the moment, so we'll get to more of them next week. Friend of the show, Mel Sitnick.
Let's see some press.
I'm going to press that. Wow.
Process of building something,
Yes!
acquiring something that's not there now. A designed process, a program that always works for everyone that does it.
So Mel, you're turning this into a hump.
It-
You're not really using your hips in the forward position that we want, right? So you're doing kind of the hips back and then back to normal, and you're not getting a bounce as effectively as you would if you were to throw like the belt more forward towards the wall. And also another way to think of this is kind of make your shoulders dip down, right? So you throw your belt forward and make the shoulders dip and then press.
Yeah, I think it's really important to emphasize that you should not be cocking your hips back and then pushing forward in the press. Like you don't. It's not like a thing. It's not like a pendulum where you swing them back and then swing them forward. The bar should come down and you're standing up to the bar as it comes down. You're standing up as tall as you can get as the bar is coming down, pulling your elbows forward, and then at that point where the bar reaches the bottom position, you're as tight as you can get, your abs are really tight, and then you throw your hips forward again. But you never ever bring your hips back and then forward.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Mel. I think we've got another video of Mel. I think you might have a deadlift video. Yep.
Cool.
What she got on in the background this time?
He won't be as ugly because muscle mass tends to make people look better. And he won't be as fat because muscle mass tends to make people's body fat go down.
All right, is this
But even if the guy
this the
never
Blue Book?
breaks below
No.
or is this
28%
strong enough?
body fat, I'd much rather
No, she's listening
have this
to like
guy
Strong Training
around
Radio or
me
something.
after 2 years of
Oh,
training.
really?
Yeah.
That's
It
some
sounds like the audiobook. The audio quality
goddamn
is really.
ad.
No, see,
Fetishes.
he just bleeped.
You know,
Oh, really? Okay.
No shit. Someone who's done something hard for 2
someone
years
who's
Someone
done
who's
is
some
a
hard for
much
2
more
years,
pleasant person to be around than somebody who's all
who's
up
just
in
been
their
on a diet.
all up in their own ass.
Right.
You know, mentally fucked up from bulking and cutting.
That's right.
And has never done a hard thing in his life. Because that, you know, yeah, sure, dieting and shit is hard,
Nice
but
one, Mel.
going to the gym and doing sets of whatever in front of a mirror. is
Mel,
not
what's
hard.
happening is that you're
Dieting is
getting
merely
way on
a-
your heels. So you're losing your quads, that knee extension right off the floor, and you're getting stuck. Feel some pressure in the toes, keep the knees forward, and just keep pushing. Nice
Yeah,
fight.
it may help you to think about driving through the balls of your feet, because sometimes if you think about that, you can sort of balance it out. But Chase is exactly right. You're just falling way back onto your heels, and that's why it feels easy, and then all of a sudden it like super duper slows down. You can get there though. This is awesome. Great grind. I mean, really, really good
Yeah.
grind.
It helps when
Really
you have Ripito talking about that, you need to do hard things.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mel's been smashing it, yeah. Good work, Mel. All right, let's keep rolling along. We have Paul75. That is gone a few times. Oh, he's got the Metallica t-shirt.
Nice.
Listening to whatever the hell horrible music this is.
First of all, when the client looks into spikes the camera nonstop right up until they lift the bar, it's really eerie. It's very unsettling. At least I find it so.
It's just vibing you out, man.
Dude, you got like replay the beginning for us after this. Like it's very unsettling. See?
I think, you know what I think he's doing? I think he's actually looking at
Gives you
his
another-
setup in the actual
Yeah.
video. That's what I think he's doing. Like, I don't think he's...
I think
you know,
you're right. He's got the face camera going.
Yeah.
It's just that happens with some of my clients, and I'm like, what are you looking at?
I like
dude,
to see your
think
elbows
that-
a little bit. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I think you never really get into a good shoulder position here. I think that I don't want you doing the whole like get your feet up on the bench with your butt and all this kind of stuff. But if you can, put your hands on one side and the other side of the rack and just get your shoulders tight under you like this, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then get a little pull onto the mat, get some friction, or onto the bench and get some friction there. Then just establishing that position is going to create a little more of an arch and clean up a little bit of the elbow funkiness I think that we're seeing here. And then it looks like your legs are shaking, so I feel like you're probably driving through your legs a little bit. I just think we never really established an arch, so you can't really reinforce that which isn't there in the first place.
Yep. Got a few comments in the chat about this. El Noir said, I felt like I was watching a porno where the man makes eye contact.
Yes,
Oh, man.
exactly. That's exactly it, Mel. You and me are vibing right now.
First of all, I've never seen a porn where the dude looks into the camera like that. So what are y'all watching?
Step brother.
We
Nick,
can
you
do
need to be on it with the soundboard. You've got to get the.
the My Free Cams sound.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. This is our last one. Stephen Lewis.
Oh, this is fun. This is our guy. This is Chase's best friend. He's
Nice.
never-
You need to get Phoebe to come up and and have a look at this one as well. Oh. Weren't you guys going to remake Lethal Weapon? Was that the joke that we had last time?
Yep.
Chase and
Yeah,
Stephen
I think
Louis
so.
were...
Yep. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So Louis, these are some pretty dreaded arm pulls, man. Just like the dude previous, you got to get your shoulders more into this and be late on the rack. Finish jumping as hard as you can.
Yeah, and I think that he's arm pulling almost from the beginning, you can see. So, like, really, really lock out, tighten those triceps, lock those elbows super duper hard at the beginning. But it's awesome that you can arm pull 225. Like, that's pretty cool, man. I think Chase is exactly right, though. Fix that arm pull, and think about getting under the bar. Think about you shrugging the bar up. You're not pulling the bar up. You're shrugging it up, and then you're getting under it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like these look like you have a nice rack, and usually that's one of the reasons that your arm pull is really terrible is that people's racks are just fucking god awful, and they're just trying to get it to their shoulders. You just have to be a little bit later with this, and everything will iron out.
Yeah, dude.
He's got like that. He's got like a pretty built-out gym here. He's got all sorts of stuff. There's a safety.
He's
safety
making
bar in
the best
background.
out of it. Yeah, dude.
Is that a homemade
bucket
safety?
with barbells in it?
Is that a homemade safety bar in the background? I feel
Yeah,
like
it
that's all
looks like
taped
it.
up. Yeah.
It looks like it's either homemade or like renovated or like refurbished rather.
Yeah. Anyway, Steven's rocking it out. I think we have his squat video next week.
Awesome.
That's all the videos for now, for this week. Teho's got a question. Whose alter ego is STFU Alex on the subreddit? Is it Alex?
That's Alex Patak. He's another Alex because starting strength attracts us like flies to honey. It's amazing.
There you go. It's not me. I wouldn't dare tell an Alex to shut the fuck up.
I'm interviewing a guy on Tuesday. You want to guess what his name is?
Steve.
No shit. Alex.
Nigel.
I bet it'll be an SSC. And we'll have Alex and Alex at Atlanta Barbell, and then we'll have Alex and Alex at Stronger Now. And we'll just take over.
Is he an SSC intern or
No, I'm just interviewing him. We'll see.
just a Globo Gym guy that you're about to convert?
Yeah, well,
Set him on the...
a little more.
A little more. Graham Fraser, how does Austin Baraki keep the weight off his wrist with grip round the bar? I assume he means his thumb around the bar.
I mean, it's not that big a deal. You take a little bit of the pressure onto your wrist if you wrap your thumb around the bar. You do. It's just a little bit. And, sometimes that's what you got to do in order to avoid like shoulder pathologies if you're built kind of weird or if your mobility is kind of weird. But it's fine. It's not ideal. It's not like perfect, but it's fine.
Yep.
And usually those guys, they wear wrist wraps to kind of help with that
Yeah.
overextension in the wrist.
Yeah. I think when you're squatting 600 pounds, you can just pretty much do what you want. You don't need to justify
Yeah,
all
dude.
these little,
I mean, like,
all these little things.
At that point, like, the most important part about starting strength is that it gives you a good foundation and it gives you, like, parameters and rules to work by. And then, like every other art and science and skill that you learn when to break the rules and you learn when to, fudge them a little bit and what's really important and what's like, okay, you can kind of fudge on that. Like everything.
Yep. Stephen Louis said it's a homemade safety bar with pipe fittings.
Nice.
Dude, that's badass.
It is, yeah.
I wish I had a quarter of your badass.
All right, well, I think we'll leave it there for this week, guys. Chase, if people want to get in touch with you, where's the best place to go?
Just DM me at Chase Lindley on Instagram.
Are many people DMing you out of interest?
There's actually a lot. So I just had a few random people, I think within this week, like 3 or 4 asking for what are my prices on online coaching and stuff like that. So I'm getting quite a few hits, so that's good.
Yep, that's $1,000 per hour, right? Is that
Yeah,
your pricing? Yeah.
I wish.
Or paying wood. You'll accept wood.
Yeah.
And Alex Mitchell, where can people find you if they want to get in touch?
At Stronger Now Gym on Instagram and Facebook and StrongerNowGym.com. Feel free to email me at alex@StrongerNow if you have any questions. And I just got Frank Sanders, who some of you guys might follow. If you don't follow him, follow him. He's awesome. He just hit me up and referred a client to me. So
Cool.
just because he
Sweet.
heard of me on this podcast, so it was
Awesome.
pretty cool.
Nice one. Oh, I'm glad it's all working out well. And thanks to everyone who submitted videos and questions. And yeah, I think we've got a pretty short submission queue at the moment. So if you get me a video in the next few days, we should be able to get it on next week. So yeah, take this opportunity. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for your time, and we will catch you all next week.
See you guys.